The 23-year-old Richardson was drafted 4th overall by the Colts back in 2023, but has only appeared in 17 of the Colts' 51 regular season games, since then throwing for 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Richardson joins an intriguing list of multiple quarterbacks that could be on the move this offseason. There you go. You see them on your screen. So the question naturally coming off the Super Bowl we just witnessed with the Seattle Seahawks, what quarterback on that list or elsewhere could make a Darnold-like impact with a new team? Louis Riddick, Peter Schrager back here with us from the Indianapolis Combine. And Lou, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Malik Willis, although his career path at this point in time is different than Sam Darnold's. But I understand what we're talking about as far as a guy who maybe people don't consider to be a true, Super Bowl caliber franchise quarterback at this point in his career. What kind of guy could kind of make that leap if you put him in the right kind of situation? I think, look, if you think about what Malik Willis has been already exposed to, most recently the 2 years in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur, how about him going to Arizona with his brother Mike LaFleur, who's been brought up in football in the same type of system, the same kind of West Coast system, the same kind of run-centric, heavy zone scheme, play-action type of system that really Malik has run in Green Bay under his brother Matt already. Those are the kind of relationships and those are the kind of connections that you look for when you're trying to go ahead and project whether or not someone could really make that kind of career leap that we're talking about here, where you just put them in a situation where the relationship works, the scheme fit works, the overall philosophical approach of the football operation works, which you're hoping that things are going to turn around in Arizona to where they can really start extracting maximum value out of the players. And then you just kind of let the ball roll from there. And I think down there, because of a couple of the things that may line up, look, obviously a lot of things still have to be decided as far as, what they're going to do with Kyler Murray. But I think this is one of those situations where if you start looking at the breadcrumbs, they may lead you. These kind of breadcrumbs may wind up converging with Malik in Arizona along with Mike LaFleur to where you could have possibly a pretty productive combination right there and get a lot of mileage out of it.
Schrager, go ahead.
I love that. Yeah, I love that one, and I'm excited to see Malik on the free agent market because I think he's going to get a lot more money than people might be projecting right now. I look at Kyler Murray. I know that's the obvious low-hanging fruit here, but a former first overall pick, former Heisman Trophy winner who has taken the team to the playoffs and is now likely going to be out in Arizona for both cost reasons and also it's time for a fresh start for everybody. And where does Kyler go and what does he want to do with his career? There will be teams that are probably willing to offer him more money than the Minnesota Vikings, and there will be teams that might be offering a situation where he could play right away with no competition. But if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm doing everything I can to get to Kevin O'Connell, to get to Josh McCown, and to get to that Justin Jefferson-led offense up there in Minnesota to have his Darnold moment. That's where Darnold went for his career rehab. Get me out of these situations where these franchises are not stable and I don't have the weapons. Put me in a place where I could prove myself. Kyler Murray, undersized as we know, and yet when he is playing at his best, is as dangerous as any quarterback in the NFL. Defensive coordinators still lay awake at night wondering what they can do to stop and contain him. He's coming off a very serious injury, but he's also coming off a situation where the Cardinals lost their last 9 games of the year without him and lost 11 of 12 games when he wasn't in the lineup. Let's not write off Kyler Murray just yet. There was a reason he was one of the highest, most sought-after quarterbacks in recent draft history.
Is it possible to look at both of you guys, Peter, Louis, and say you're absolutely right, but I don't give a damn? Is it possible to do that? Because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with these. That's where I'm at with these guys. That's where I'm at with these guys. I mean, I'm looking at. First of all, I'm blaming Shay and the producers for introducing this topic by mentioning Anthony Richardson, an individual we don't know if he can play in the National Football League. He's only 23. He's going to be 24 in late May. And this guy, last time we saw him, he was only completing 47% of his passes. He was throwing 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and he looked completely and utterly lost. That is the last time we've really seen him. I know he played 2 games last year that he didn't start in, but that's the last time we've really seen him. Because the brother, as a backup, has shown on numerous occasions that he can ball. He reminds me of Huntley in that regard. When he comes in for Lamar Jackson or whatever, he can play. He may not win you games, but he certainly shows an ability to do so. And you know, he could be in somebody behind center for somebody. I view Malik Willis that way. I know he can play. I think he deserves somebody somebody to have some faith in him and throw a little paper his way and give him an opportunity to be the starting quarterback for their franchise. We'll see where that goes. Kyler Murray, you're absolutely right, Peter. Former #1 overall pick. Here's where you lost me when you talked about how he should clamor to get to, Kevin O'Connell. Let me say this. I know Kevin O'Connell can coach. I know the brother has proven he's a coach. I've heard Louis Riddick talk about him on many occasions along with yourself, Peter, and I'm going to defer to both of y'all expertise because, damn it, y'all know what the hell y'all talking about. But you can't know what you're talking about 1 minute, which you obviously both do, and then be devoid of an explanation for me as to how that man sat up there and let Sam Darnold walk out of that building because of J.J. McCarthy. I know it was a business decision. I know you didn't want to give the brother $50 million or $55 like Trevor Lawrence and Cats are making. I get that part. But you didn't have to let him go walk out the building. He signed for $33 a year with Seattle. You couldn't have paid him that. Now, you might say you wanted to throw those assets in another direction, but not when you got Justin Jefferson, not when you got Addison, not when you got Hawkinson. You got a quarterback. You got an elite offense with those brothers. And to sit up there and to throw away a season because you decided that it was worth placing your faith into a quarterback that we last saw winning a national championship at Michigan a couple of years earlier, but got hurt before his rookie year with the meniscus tear and hadn't thrown a damn NFL pass. And that's the dude that you're going to place your faith in at the expense of Sam Darnold, at the expense of Justin Jefferson, at the expense of Jordan Addison, at the expense of T.J. Hawkinson, I think is a crime. So when we talk about Kyler Murray and how he needs to go to Minnesota, it's like, yeah, right, I got it, but damn it, why they in this position to begin with? I'm not so sure. Floor is y'all's.
Look, sometimes people make mistakes, man. Sometimes you feel as though a player is a little bit further along than maybe they actually are. And sometimes you have to learn by trial and error. There's a reason why they traded up to 10th overall to draft J.J. McCarthy. And there was plenty of evidence. Well, not plenty of evidence. There was enough evidence in other forums, meaning off-season workouts, meaning training camp workouts, meaning the one performance that he had during the preseason, and they're all their exposure that they had to him in the meeting rooms, on the practice field, outside the building, to lead them to believe that, hey, you know what? If we can continue to kind of like shepherd this guy down the road, that we're going to get the kind of value out of him that we want. And it didn't work out that way. Sometimes it happens like that. That doesn't mean we need to start calling into question their capabilities, though.
Why not? Why not? That's their job. That's their job. Listen,
because what had they just done with Sam Darnold?
I got my wallet near me. Sam Darnold got it into a 14-2 record before he nosedives the last 2 games, the final games of the regular season, and then the playoff game against his Rams when he got sacked 9 times and he was on suicide watch running for his life that damn game. I got that part. But I'm going to put you on the spot, Louis Riddick, Mr. Chippendales with the space in your tie. You can tick it up a little bit, God, Mr. Chippendales. Let me say this to you, bro. Let me ask you this quick question.
You know what, man? See, you know what I'm saying? Why do we can't even look nice? It just never ends with this dude.
Peter, you know me. Peter, you know me. I'm going to get at him every chance I get. You know how I'm doing. You know I love my man Rick. You know I'm going to get at him. Louis Riddick, let me ask you this question, bro, to end the segment. Would you have done that? Would you have let Sam Darnold walk out of that building with the weapons you had for a guy that was an unproven rookie? Would you have made that call?
Given what I knew about J.J. McCarthy at the time, I supported what they had done. Yeah, I did.
Really?
And I would have been wrong, too, at this point. Yeah, I would have. And that's not a knock against Sam Darnold. Because you know what? For everything that you're saying right now, there are plenty of people who came on this network and others who were crushing Sam Darnold, who said, let him go. He's showing that he's still the same old Sam. There were plenty of people who had plenty of reservations about it, and you know it.
But for a rookie, though, I got that part about Sam. I'm just talking about juxtaposing that to the rookie that hadn't thrown an NFL pass. That's what I'm saying. If J.J. McCarthy
it was a big risk.
Had NFL experience, I stand down. But he hadn't thrown an NFL pass.
Right.
No, we were going off of J.J. McCarthy's
point.
performance in early spring training and things like that, or in camp, and that was part of the problem. But
Chippendales is bow ties, Stephen A. Not just come on,
not regular.
Come on,
No.
It's
I got it. You got it.
It is Louis, though.
Peter, how would you know that? How would you know that, Peter? How would you know that?
Schrager,
Oh, I don't know. I just
Riddick, enjoy the NFL Combine this
It is
weekend. The NFLPA report cards were obtained by ESPN on Thursday, and the Steelers ranked 32nd overall and received an F minus in multiple categories. Yikes, you can see the F, treatment of families, team travel, locker room, etc. Stephen A., you're a Steelers fan. Were you surprised by this?
I'm somewhat, but no wonder Mike Tomlin left. You know what? Clearly, he take a year off, and there'll be better situations. He'll never speak against the Pittsburgh Steelers because they gave him the opportunity of a lifetime, and he coached there for 19 years. But this organization under Art Rooney II, I mean, right now, it looks like a disgrace compared to what his family has established for so many years. They've had 3 head coaches in the franchise history. They hired Chuck Noll in his 30s. They hired Bill Cowher in his 30s. They hired Mike Tomlin in his 30s, and then they go out and they get a 62-year-old. Art Rooney II is clearly doing things differently, but certainly not better. Because while the Steelers, his predecessors, his daddy, his family members were winning championships, this man can't win a playoff game. So it is not a good situation when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steeler Nation deserves a lot better. They are obviously loyal to their franchise, as they should be. But this man and what he's doing to represent this franchise right now, it's not impressive, plain and simple. We expect better from the Rooneys. And it's Art Rooney II's job to hold down the fort. And he ain't doing it. And it's just that simple. So somebody need to say something, so I'm going to say it. We ain't satisfied as members of Steeler Nation. We are not satisfied with this man. And this report card grade is just the latest piece of evidence, the latest nugget of evidence that the Steelers are not what they used to be. Steeler Nation should be very concerned about the leadership that they have in place moving forward.
Yeah, this is unfortunate and disappointing, I guess. I feel like we always look to the Steelers as a franchise that is so well run, so on top of things, the way they treat their players and their facility. And
Evidently not with this man.
Home game
Not with Art Rooney II.
An F minus, like worse than MetLife? I mean, that is...
Family treatment, playing surface, travel, locker room. I'm trying to figure out how the hell, with all of those categories being an F, ownership gets a D. As far as I'm concerned, ownership deserves an F before any of it, because all of this is a result of the ownership.
Yeah, this is unfortunate and disappointing, and quite frankly, a little surprising coming out of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Okay, after the break.
Very disheartening.